fun, that's what it's for. And if you walk real slowly, you can feel the planet breathe. There's no need to feel so lowly now that we've all learned to give. Accidentally Kelly Street, where friends and strangers sometimes meet. Accidentally Kelly Street, I never thought life could be so sweet.
All right. Good morning. This is fun. I've got a full house today. I love it. Thanks for showing up. And today I've got a very special guest joining me. You, if you don't know him, you're gonna get to know him today. He's very special to me, and I feel like I'm his daughter, but Tracy Young is his daughter. We've already talked about that. I might have daddy issues. But today we've got Danny Young in the house, and I'm just honored that he made time for us today. So, Danny, you there?
I'm here. I'm always here.
Hi, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. How do you look like that at this time of the morning? I look like this.
I had to
Ridiculous.
wake up really early. No.
I got up at 3 just so I'd be able to talk by 7:30.
Yeah, I don't believe that. What's your beauty tip in the morning? Do you have moisturizer? How do you look so young, Danny?
No, it's I get up, I get out of bed, my feet hit the floor, my face doesn't follow. It's gonna be a good day. Pretty much it. Okay.
Oh, I
I'm
love
very
it.
low maintenance, Kelly. Very,
Yeah,
very low maintenance.
I am too. I keep telling Scott that, but he disagrees, so I don't know. Well, Danny, I was at a wedding last week, and I love going to weddings, and thank you for inviting me if you're getting married. But to me, it's like the vows and the ceremony and just the love and the joy, and all these people come to witness it and be a part of something so beautiful and so pure. And I know you and Sandy have been together. You just celebrated a big anniversary for your wedding. How many years has it been?
55, 5 5.
Wow, that's
Double
great.
nickel.
That's
I
easy
think
to
that's I
remember.
think that's the Wicker wedding. I gave anniversary. I gave her a chair, this year. So
Hey, I love wicker furniture. Oh my gosh. So, if you can just tell me, what was your wedding like? Was it simple? Was it
look,
extravagant?
didn't I just tell you it was 55 years ago? I'm trying to remember yesterday. What are you talking
Yeah, I know. I know
about?
Sandy has this ingrained in you, I'm sure.
We'll watch a Hallmark movie and the guy proposes and all that kind of stuff. And I said, did I do that? She said, absolutely not. She said, I don't remember at all. But no, it couldn't have been a big wedding. This was 1969. Good Lord, there was nothing big back then. I think we had our reception was at a Knights of Columbus place or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, uh-huh.
It wasn't a big deal. I've never been a big deal kind of person. I'm not an me and you are opposite. Okay, I don't got to
Yeah.
drag me to a wedding.
Yeah.
So
Well, I did go away at a destination and got married with Scott. So we were kind of low key, we wanted to be just ourselves. So it
how
was
long has
nice.
that been?
We've been married for 17 years.
Holly, spring
Yeah.
chickens,
Yeah,
chicken.
right. I know. 55, 17, you
Hmm?
can't kind of be beat there. So but Danny, I admire you. When I came to Symmetry, my first conference, I always tell people this story because it's overwhelming. If you've been to conference, we just got back from Denver. It's overwhelming, but it's a good buzz. There's lots of people, there's lots of vibes, energy's good. And, I was just taking it all in. I'm looking over and I see this old bald guy, and I'm like, man, he looks, nice. And
OBG. That's
yeah, OBG.
OBG.
Yeah, okay, cool. I didn't know there's an acronym for that. And I just see these hugs and these people just like you're this famous person. I needed to meet you. But what I felt from afar was the love and the care, and like just the people that were around you were just genuinely excited to see you. And I was like, I want that. Like, I don't know what kind of team that is, but that's what I want. I want the feels. I want people to be here because they want to be here, you know? So I've always admired that about you.
I've been in the insurance business 40 years. Last month, made 40 years. And it's always been in the building part of it. And there's like 10,000 things you got to learn if you're going to build something that's going to stay, going to stick. But there was a guy from New York. We used to have these what they call fast start schools, and it'd be a day and a half thing at a hotel in New Orleans or something like that. And but this guy, and I couldn't understand it because he was a Yankee. Above the Mason-Dixon line, people are different, okay, than they are down here in the deep South.
Yeah.
And so, but I watched this guy, Kelly, and he would walk into a room, and somebody would walk up to him, and he may say 5 words to him, or he may take 5 minutes and talk to him. But I was astonished by every time somebody walked away from that guy, they felt better than they did when they walked up to him. And I'm thinking, this is unbelievable. I would absolutely love to be that kind of person. And so, you're being way too kind. Okay. A lot of people, I look at it as how much need there is out there from people for better. They want better. They don't know how to get better. They don't know how they got where they got. So they don't know how to get away from where they are. And so if they see somebody, they think, and I think that, this guy's been around 114 years. He's bound to know something he can tell me that'll help me, And so I think that's a part of it.
Yeah.
We really are in an incredibly special company at an incredibly special time with special people, special founders. This, and the sad thing is that most people that come here don't stay here long enough to see that.
Yeah.
And they leave, and they miss out on an opportunity of best opportunity out there for people like us, if I can say it that way. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I just try all I try to do, and this, I know this probably sounds silly to everybody but me and Sandy, but there were so many people that helped me 40 years ago. Because I came in the insurance industry from a 16-year career of shift work at an oil refinery. Okay, so I was smooth. I was 37 years old, didn't own a tie at age 37, did not own a tie. And so when they got me, this thing about you clean a fish after you catch it, they had a lot of cleaning to do with me, but there were people that helped me that to this day, 40 years later, I'm still paying those people back. I just think that you're supposed to. If you can help somebody, I think you're supposed to.
Yes.
So, and I really don't care if it's in my agency or outside my agency. I do probably 20 to 25 Zooms, in which I hated Zooms like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I was the last Zoom person in cemetery because I feel like I'm in a dentist chair. I'm sitting here about 50 people, 100 people, 200 people, about 18 inches from my face, and I hate it. If I could back up 25 yards, it'd be better. But I'm just trying to repay those people that helped me. That's all I'm doing. And that probably makes no sense to anybody but me, but that's the truth.
I love that. I can resonate with that because growing up, I had to start working young, and my parents didn't have a lot of money, and I was actually trying to pay our bills so we didn't have to move again. But I feel like if you work hard and you got that hustle, I had people around me that would help me, like older women would just see that I was hurting and struggling, and even just to talk to me or kind of be a coach or a mentor for me in that part of my life. I was my teenage years and 20, but just to give me a $20 bill on a Friday just so I could have an extra something in my pocket. Yeah, there's just people, like you said, that you want to pay back along the way. And I love the relationships here, like you just were talking about. That's why people stay, right? For their culture, for the relationships.
See, this, I believe, and I've always done this. See, I've built what I have, me and Sandy, brick at a time, brick at a time, brick at a time, brick at a time. But see, what holds those bricks together is the relationships that you build with those people. That's what a lot of people don't understand. They think they come here and they can just talk about, you'll be a millionaire, come here. No, it's just not what it's about. You come here, Kelly, I guarantee you came here and you have friends to this day that will be friends of yours forever,
Oh yeah.
forever.
Hmm.
Where can you get that? Because you understand most people out there, there's 140 million people working out there today, have jobs or
Hmm.
small businesses. And they are working, look, they're working somewhere they don't want to work. They don't like what they do. They don't like who they work with.
Hmm.
They don't like the money. They don't like the commute. They don't like anything about it. And yet they're out there today, 140 million.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they get comfortable being miserable.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And this is scary for them. Like they'd rather still stay where they are unhappy. And just because they know it, they can predict it. It's consistent and they know what to expect tomorrow. The same thing.
What it is, in reality, it's a rut. And a rut is just an open-ended grave. But that's where they are. That's their comfort zone. Most people can't, they're uncomfortable outside their comfort zone. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So when you came here, did you know like this is it? Like I got to make this work. I'm not going anywhere else, or how did that look for you?
I've only done, I've only been 4 places in my life. I'm in 114 years, that's not bad. Okay. 16 years at Exxon, 21 years with
Hmm.
Primerica.
Hmm.
Okay. And then a 25-year-old introduced a 59-year-old me to mortgage protection in 2006. It wasn't Symmetry. It
Hmm.
was the IMO that Brandon Casey came from. And so I was there for 7 years. Brandon Casey were there for the first 4 years. And
Hmm.
we became really good friends. All three of us, matter of fact, were direct to the same guy. And so, and then from a Friday to a Monday, they were gone. Brandon and Casey were gone. I had no idea where they went. I didn't know why they went. I
Hmm.
felt like I felt like they abandoned their people. I felt like they abandoned me. And so what
Yeah.
I did, being from Louisiana, I went in, I went into a 4-year pouting session where, Brandon would call me. He called me once a year. I wouldn't take his call because I was pouting.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. And then finally in the 4th year, I was just unhappy enough when he called. He didn't look. I didn't even know it was him because I took him out of my phone. I really showed him. I didn't know it
Wow.
was him calling.
Oh gosh.
And he left me a message saying, "Hey, buddy, give me a call. Roll Tide."
Mm.
And so I told Sandy. I said, "Guess who called me?" It was a Friday. I said, "Guess who called me?" Brandon Ellison. What do you want? I don't know. I didn't take his call. He said, "You need to call him back." See, y'all know, Kelly. Spouses know that you're unhappy.
Hmm.
Okay. And I
Hmm.
was unhappy because that other place was just, it was this culture that was just toxic.
Hmm.
And I spent the majority of my time. Here's what I built in 7 years there, Kelly. I built an agency of about 45 writers, writing about 250, 260,000 a month. I was making about 260, all of it passive. I'd run appointments my first 4 years. I didn't run appointments the last 3 years there. I just, recruited and trained and motivated and coached and talked people off a bridge and all this sort of stuff. And so that's 7 years.
Yeah. Right.
And I was very unhappy, but I was
Hmm.
unhappy at 260 a year, passive.
Yeah.
And then Brandon called that 4th year. And see, one thing about life is that your life can change on a dime.
Hmm.
Brandon Meredith Ellison asked Brandon one day, "When's the last time you called Danny?" He said, "Danny won't take my call. I'm not calling Danny anymore." She said, "I think you ought to call Danny." And
Mm.
so that was the 4th time he called me. And he left that message. I told Sandy. Sandy said, "You need to call him back." I said, "Right." And so then I called one of my top guys in Oklahoma. I said, "Guess who called me today?" Brandon Ellison. He said, "You ought to call him back." And so now God is speaking to me. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I called him back and we talked. And then we talked again. And then me and him and Casey talked. And then they flew me out to your neck of the woods, to Greenville, South Carolina.
Hmm.
And I spent a day and a half with them. And it was like, Kelly, was like 4 years had never passed.
Oh,
They
that's
were the
good.
same. They showed up in Brandon's pickup truck. They had fishing stuff all in the back of it. They had on jeans and boots and rolled up plaid shirts, the sleeves rolled up.
Hmm.
And we spent a day and a half. And I tell people this part because I think it's incredibly important
Hmm.
to understand what you have hold of. Because then look, in your toughest times here, you got to keep that in your brain because
Hmm.
this thing is unlike anything out there. But if you just focus on the hard, you're going to leave, you know.
Yeah.
But what they had done in 4 years now, first month in business, they had the three owners and Linwood. Okay, that was it. That was the company. They did 86,000 in premium October of 09.
Mm,
09.
mm. Wow.
Yeah, October of 09. They did 86,000 in premium. That's with Linwood, Casey, and Brandon running appointments. I met with them in Greenville 4 years to the month later, and they're doing $1 million a month. Here we are 11 years later, and they're doing 18, 19, 20 million a month. And COVID didn't slow this thing down at all. There's nothing like this company.
Yeah.
Yet people come here and then, they get a lead with a bad phone number on it and they quit. This is just silly. Because you
True.
can't there's nothing out there. Like I've seen a lot of stuff. There's nothing out there, Kelly,
Mm,
for people that come from where we come from.
hmm
Nothing.
True.
If you're a good person and you can work and you're coachable
Hmm
and you want something in your life better than what you have now, there's nothing like this.
hmm
So I forgot
Yeah.
what you
Me too. Yeah. It's great. No, I just love it. And speaking of hard times, I mean, Scott and I, when we came here, we had zero insurance background. He had sales, I had sales, customer service, but we hit a hard bump,
Yeah,
and it was like
sure.
we hit agency owner, and that was great. But here we're going on all these trips, and no one
Mhm.
felt bad for me. But
Right.
I'm like, every 2 months we were taking a trip, and we didn't have a lot of money. We had a very small team. And I remember you talking to us, and God, I appreciate it. I mean, we were in a bad spot, and I didn't even tell you. I'm like, how did you know? Like, what's going on? How did you know to call me?
We were on a beach somewhere. I
Yeah.
knew who y'all were.
Yeah.
I have that movie with I don't like scary movies because I like to sleep. But that movie with the little kids that I see dead people. You know
Oh,
that movie?
yeah. Yes.
Let me tell you what I see. I see winners. And I
Oh,
watched y'all. I saw
yeah.
y'all. All I knew was y'all were under Purdy, but I watched y'all on these trips and stuff. And I'm thinking
Yeah.
that I told Sanders that is a sharp looking couple. And all I knew was that y'all were I didn't know anything about your team, anything about
Mm,
what y'all were doing at all. But I knew I'm drawn to winners, if that
mm,
makes sense. Okay.
mm,
These 25 Zooms I do a week, these are people I chose.
mm,
I talk to people that I choose to speak to,
mm.
which means that on my calls, I have zero no shows. Okay. Because I have picked them. And secondly, there's value in those Zooms.
Yeah.
And so this is how I have built my agency by getting people I want through people I have. But when I saw y'all, and I think I like bullied my way into y'all's life on one of these trips. I saw y'all were out by the pool and you walked by, and I think I stalked you or something. I said something to you, and that led to a conversation, and that
Yeah.
led to a phone call, and
Mhm.
here we are. So
Absolutely. Yeah. I really enjoy our time sitting by the pool for hours and just absorbing all of your Yoda wisdom. And your wife's over there and your daughter, and they're just, getting drinks or by the
they're
pool,
used to it.
and
They're
we're
used to
just, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm hogging Danny, and they're like, you can have him.
it.
But I also love on these trips that you're just, hey, I'm over here at this restaurant. I'm going to be here for breakfast and lunch.
Right.
And it's like a therapy office. Like, people are sitting down every couple hours. There's a new agent sitting there, or a new partner couple, sitting with you guys. And again, you're just pouring into people. And I just think that's so generous. And I'm so grateful that you have that, I don't know. I don't know how you just do it. It's just great.
Well, we get there. It's always a beautiful place. I go find a restaurant.
Yeah.
I find a table in the corner. I tell the people I want to lease this table for the next 5 days.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be here at 8 o'clock, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
be here till 3 o'clock. And me and Sandy sitting there. People think this is stupid. I mean, I understand that it looks stupid. Okay,
I
it doesn't make sense. But we'll sit at this table. We'll have breakfast with somebody,
mhm.
and in about every hour, somebody else will come sit down there. And here's all we do, Kelly. You know this. I
Yep.
talk about their business.
Yeah.
I don't talk about my business.
Mm,
I'm not going to give it to them. I talk about their business.
mhm,
Where are you? Because that's the first question. Tell me about your business. How's
mhm,
your business? And see, if you ask a guy that, first thing out of his mouth's going to be a lie. You know, I understand that. Okay. Oh man, you wouldn't believe it. The other thing, all right. Yeah, they're not great. Okay.
Yeah.
I see the by the numbers every week, every week. But this whole thing, this entire thing, your team, y'all, we all came here. And what you have to do, if you're going to be successful here, you have to find what works for you. And see, what worked for Linwood wouldn't have worked for me. What worked for Marshall wouldn't work for me. Edward, see, Marshall found what worked for him. Edward found what worked for him. Linwood found what worked for him. I found what worked for me. Your team, people on your team are looking to see what that they ought to be looking to see what, and the danger is just doing what you see your upline doing because it may not work for you.
True.
So how do you know if it's working or not? You look at your numbers. We have a scoreboard. And if your numbers in September last month, if your numbers were the same as they were in January, what you're doing is not working for you.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. Okay. Doing more of something that's not working isn't going to start working.
Right. Right.
And so that's really all I do, Kelly, is I try to find out what people are doing and see if we can't tweak something.
Yeah.
It's something that'll work for them better. It's all about, and you know this, okay? This thing is 100% perspective. How do you process things that come into your mind? You know?
Yes.
And
yes.
if
That's.
if you look at things the right way, I heard a guy say one time, I stole it from him, never gave him credit for it, but he said that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. See, in today's world, you know, I could look at the sky and say that sky is blue, and somebody next to me said, "Look, dude, that sky is green or red." So, you know, it's all about finding out what works for you, and your numbers tell you if what you're doing is working for you.
Yeah.
So that's all I try to help people do is I just help them find what works for them because I can tell. See, somebody wants to talk to me, they got to send me their numbers for the last 12 months. I can look at their numbers and I can tell them exactly why they are where they are. It's all about your numbers.
Yeah. You're right. And if you don't check your numbers, you don't know where you are, where you were, where you're going. Yeah, exactly.
See, in Cabo, last thing in Cabo, say this last thing.
Yeah.
I met this couple. They're not in my agency. I deal with a lot of people not in my agency. I always ask their upline if it's okay. And I usually get permission. But they were, you know, I saw them in the restaurant twice. They're in their early 50s, something like that, mid 50s. And I said, "How long have you been here?" 6 years. "What contract are you on?" 120. I said, "How long have you been on 120? He said, "A long time." I said, "Look, I got a little bitty box. Long time won't fit in my little bitty box. How long have you been on 120? He said, 3 years. I said, "Well, you want me to tell you why you're at 120? He said, "I'd love for you to tell me." I said, "Because that's where you want to be." We're all where we want to be. We're all exactly where we're supposed to be based on the choices we make, the decisions we make, the effort we put in, the amount of time we spend working on ourselves. But that's the big problem here. People spend all their time working on stuff and don't spend any time working on self. And working on self is what's going to get you where you want to get. So I told him, I said, when you get back home, they live in Utah. I said, when you get back home, you need to find you a tattoo artist and get 120 tattoo on your arm because this is apparently where you want to be. And see, that's for all of us. We're all where we're supposed to be right now. And if you don't like where you are right now, understand that you drove yourself there. You can drive your butt somewhere else. You can. Jim Rohn said, "You're not a tree. Move. Move." So anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Oh, you are so fine. I love it. And all your Danny-isms. I mean, everyone has them all over Symmetry. Every time I see a Facebook post or a call, they're like, "Oh yeah, Danny said this." You know, you've coined so many phrases. It's great.
People say you make things so simple. I said, you understand simple is the first 75% of simpleton. That's why I'm simple. I think simple. I'm not a very deep person. Okay. I'm not. So I'm sorry.
I love it. I love it. Well, I like to open up the call at the end and just
Okay.
if anyone would like to talk to Danny, I know Trevor, I know you
Yes,
do.
I have a question because I didn't get to ask Danny at conference. So this was a question I literally wrote for you, but you were very busy and that's okay. So I got you here. At this point, you've had a lot of success. You know, you've talked about your time here. What's important to you right now today, and how has that changed during your time here?
It hadn't changed really. Look, I got people talk about goals all the time. There's a couple of things that I try to eliminate from my vocabulary. The first word is try. Try is a try means I'm gonna get up today and I'm gonna give it my almost. Okay. Try does nothing. It's escape hatch. You're gonna try. Well, I didn't make it. Well, I know I was just trying though. And so I don't use the word try. The second word is why. This word is used so much around here. What is your why? What is your why? What is your why? Well, here's what I know. I know there's 140 million people out there working today, and this is what, Thursday. I know that not one time during this week, Trevor, did they think about their why. Now, here's what they did think about. They think about what they want. That's the word I use. See, because they want to take their kids to Disney. They want to have a new vehicle. They want to live in a different subdivision. They want to have better. So when I talk to people, I would never ask somebody, what's your 5-year why? The guy's trying, this is Thursday. He's got to figure out a way how to pay a cell bill tomorrow by 5 o'clock. Okay. He ain't got time to worry about 5 years down the road. So with me, people have, what's your goal? This is my goal. I'm telling you, I do not have, and this is, Kelly, I'm sorry, this is heresy, okay? I don't have a premium goal. I don't have anything like that. I don't have an income goal. Here's my goal. I'm gonna get up every day and I'm gonna find me some people that I can have a positive impact on. That's what I'm gonna do. Because what I don't do, I learned this 100 years ago. See, I don't try to move my agency. I mean, we average 2.6 million a month. Okay. 560 writers, something like that. Okay. I didn't write any of that. I've been here 11 years next month. I've written 10 apps in 11 years. Okay. It was really symmetrical last year because I had 10 apps, 10 years. Now I got a problem. I'm hoping somebody will call me wanting some insurance and they'll bring their laptop. Okay. So I can do it for them. But I just want to impact people. I don't get my team in a room and just fire hose motivation. Mm-hmm. What I do is I don't try to move my team all at one time. I try to move who I'm talking to at the time. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. And so that's what I do. I'm doing the same thing today that I did 11 years ago.
I love that. So honest and to the point, and it's simple, like you said.
Well, it has to be.
You're leading with your heart, and it's like, what do I want for others?
Let me say this, because this would appeal to you and Scott. Okay. There's how and there's why. This is what people talk about all the time. Okay. I talk about it anyway. But see, your how, what you know, how to do. Your how lives in your head. Mm. But your why, your want to, lives in your heart. Mm. And the big players here talk not from their head to their people's head. They talk from their heart to their people's heart. Hmm. There's so much how here. Even the builder's call, when they were having just a builder's call, people got on there. They didn't talk about why they built. They talked about how they built. It's all how. And what I've known about how for 100 years is if you get your ox in the ditch, your how is not going to get it out of the ditch. The only thing that's going to get that out of the ditch is your why. What do you want? That's going to get you out of the ditch. And so that's what I talk about. But Trevor, I don't think, I'm such a creature of habit. I just do the same thing over and over and over and over with different people. The only thing that changes is who sits in that restaurant in front of me. That's the only thing that changes.
Yeah. Trevor's going to be sitting in that restaurant. That's your goal.
Gotta make an appointment.
Challenge accepted.
Yes, Danny was busy at conference. If you were in Denver, him and Sandy were doing a breakout session, and that was awesome. Wow. Like,
were you in that one? She lit it up, didn't she?
I was there. I mean, I signed up as soon as I saw her name. Sorry. But
no problem. There's no Danny without Sandy, I'm telling you. Look, what's funny is when it was over and I walked off to the right. I walked down the stairs. There was like 3 people waiting to talk to me or whatever. And the third guy said, I don't know how to tell you this, but Sandy's line is longer. And I looked
Yeah, I know.
See, that's the absolute best thing that has come out of getting in the insurance industry is what it has allowed Sandy Young to become. See, she always had it in her, but she was Kelly, when I married her, I'm saying she was the shyest person in the world. We'd go somewhere and
Mhm.
I'd leave. I'd have fingernail marks in my arm where she never let go. She never let go. She couldn't tell somebody her name when I met
Mm,
her in a group setting. And look at her now. I mean, the
yeah.
impact that she has on people now. You ought to have a Zoom with her, Kelly, by the way. She's had about 5 or 6 Zooms since conference, people reaching out to talk to her.
Oh,
You ought
I
to do
would
that.
love to.
Oh, look, I'll text you her phone number, okay? You
Okay.
text her. She'd love to talk to you.
Oh, I just
She ought
love
to be
her.
my favorite. She's awesome. She is absolutely awesome.
She is. She is. Everyone's awesome. You're awesome, Sandy. Tracy was on my call. And
How strong was that?
gosh, she just moved mountains. I mean, wow, right? So good.
Looks like her mama acts like her daddy.
Yeah, that's a good combination.
It is. My poor son looks like his daddy and acts like his mama. So
Oh my gosh.
he's fired up to know what he's going to look like at 77. Can I tell you that?
Oh, yeah, right. Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know.
Anybody else got anything, Kelly? I love this
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Oh,
I
I
love
love
it.
it too. Yeah,
Good.
Phil.
All right. Well, I got one more. So what would you say? Well, if you let me fire, I'm firing.
Go ahead,
Uh,
buddy.
what what would you say to the agent that's here on this call right now? You've kind of talked about it the whole way through, but has, you know, isn't believing in themselves, is struggling, is saying, it's this, it's that, it's my upline, it's this. What do you
So
say to that
all of
agent when
those,
they come to you?
hey, all of those are excuses. Okay, you can make money, you can make excuses. You can't make both. So, but here, look, this is all people have to do to win here. I'm dead serious. So they think it's 100 things, because there's so many moving parts here. It can be overwhelming. You open the grand doors of Summit, and somebody can go in there and wander around for 40 years, and never learn everything. But I think there's 4 things that people have to do to win. 4. You got to read. You have to read because people live in such small worlds these days. But when you read, and I read a lot of biographies because every single successful person ever has struggled before they became successful. People need to understand that failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of success. And so you're not going to have all happy, high note days. Okay. You're going to have some bad days. So you got to read so you can read about other people's struggle and what they did to get through that struggle. Second thing you got to do, you got to associate with the right people. That's what Kelly was talking about. Associate with the right people. You learn from those people who are where you want to be. Don't go to conference and go hunt down the poor, pitiful person that's the only one doing worse than you in the company. Okay. Go find somebody that's where you want to be and don't find out what they're doing, find out how they think, because how you think is what gets you what you get. And so you got to associate with the right people. You got to disassociate with the wrong people, by the way. That's the hard part for most people. Your friends, your family do not want you to be successful. I don't care what they say. They don't. They want you to be like them. And so the third thing is you have to attend. You got to get on everything you can get on. Doesn't mean you get on everything, but get on everything you can. You got to go to conference. These things are where you learn what you need to do in order to win. And then the last thing, this is what gets most of them. You got to struggle. Struggle is your friend. Struggle makes you stronger, not weaker. You're going to go through tough times. You maybe a day, a week, a month, I don't know. But if you keep your focus on your prize, whatever your prize is, you'll get through it. Most people don't do that. They focus on the price. See, winners don't care about the price. Winners want the prize. And so the winners will do whatever they need to do to get their prize.
Mm.
And yet the vast majority of people won't. They talk a good game. They come here and tell you all the wonderful things they're going to do, and then they get hit in the throat. And then next thing you know, they're back at Sears punching the clock.
Yeah,
So
true.
it's a whole thing. You got to read, you got to associate, you got to attend, you got to struggle.
That's awesome. So we have time for one more. Linda Chung. Hi.
Oh, okay. Hi, Danny. One, because I think you've been married for so long, and I think inevitably in that, a lot of the issues or problems that we have is like people problems, right? And it's relationships and conflict. So what's your advice for resolving conflict? Because there's always going to be two people are going to agree on exactly, the same
Are you
thing.
talking about
How do
conflict?
you approach it?
You talking about conflict with your spouse?
Well,
talking about being
both,
Sandy?
like spouse and just
Yeah, I don't.
the way I view it, agents were in business partners. So we're in partners in life or partners in business. How do you approach, because you clearly 55 years, like bravo, and I'm assuming long-term relationships with your agents, so how do you resolve,
Well,
how do you deal with conflict?
well, I don't deal with conflict very well. Okay, I try to avoid conflict. I try to keep it from happening by the way I treat people. The way, because look, when somebody comes into my agency, they don't go to work for me. I go to work for them, and that's a hard lesson for a lot of people to understand. But back to my marriage, okay, it's all about communication and the fact. Sandy hate me saying this. I don't argue. I don't argue. Okay. And that's for a long time in our marriage, that really irritated Sandy. Okay. Because she wants to argue. So I don't, because here's why I don't argue. Because let's say, look, guys understand this. You walk into your house and you realize that the temperature is like 35 degrees lower than it was when you left. Okay. So you have done something to irritate her. And so everything okay? Yes. Did I make you mad? No. So anyway, I just like go to my room and close the door and hope it goes away. Because here's what I know. I'm not willing. Same thing with my people. I'm not willing for me and Sandy to not speak to each other for a day or a week or a month. Okay. Because here's what I know. 100% of the time, we're going to make up. And when we make up, we have lost a day, a week, or a month in our relationship. I'm not willing to give up that time. And so I don't argue. Okay. I try my best to get her to tell me what I did so I can make it right. But I don't like just throwing time away because of something silly, because you focus on the wrong thing. See, and my people, I don't have conflict. I'm just telling you, I don't in my agency, because once again, I don't deal. Can I tell them this, Kelly? I don't deal with, you don't know what it
Yes.
is. Answer that. I don't deal with everybody in my agency. I've got, close to 600 writers. Okay. I don't deal with them. If somebody's got a problem, they reach out to me. It may be a problem with, I got a new guy's got a problem with this question on the contract, or I got a problem with that. How do you do lead? I don't respond to that person. I respond to that person's AO. I say, look, so-and-so emailed me. You want to take care of this? And they take care. Here's what happened. The problem gets solved, because it's not my job to solve every problem. It's my job to get every problem solved. So I get the AO to take care of that. Here's what happens from that. The AO grows a little bit, because every problem you solve, you grow a little bit. Every problem you deal with, you grow a little bit. And so what I do, Linda, to keep this conflict, whatever it is, from anybody to a minimum, is I don't talk to my people about today. I definitely don't talk about yesterday, day before yesterday. I'll give you an example. I had one of my agents call, and I knew when I got on the phone with him, I knew that either his dog got run over or something, because he's walking on his lip. I could tell. He said, you're not going to believe what happened to me last night. I let him talk for about 20 seconds. And I said, wait, stop. I'm sorry. My bad. Is what you're telling me, did that happen tomorrow? He said, no, it happened yesterday. I said, I can't help you with that. Now, if it would have happened tomorrow, look, I'm your guy. I'm your guy. Because see, I can fix tomorrow, and I can fix the next day, and I can fix the next week, and I can fix the rest of your life with this opportunity. If you want to talk about tomorrow, I can't change yesterday.
Right. Don't waste today on yesterday's
So
problems.
we're not going to talk about yesterday.
Right.
So, but I try to keep conflict, Linda, as down to a minimum by treating my people the way they want to be treated, not the way I want to be treated, the way they want to be treated. That's the platinum rule. Treat people the way they want to be, do unto others as they want to be done unto.
Right.
That makes sense. And so, and what I also don't do, Linda, is I don't deal, because I've got four kind of people in my agency. It's the same way with the Summers. They got four kind of people. You got VIPs, your very important people. They get up, they do what they're supposed to do every day. That's where the majority of your business comes from. You don't worry about them at all. You got VTPs, which are your very teachable people. That's your next wave of VIPs. Then you got your VNPs, your very nice people. They're on every huddle, every huddle. Okay. They're always smiling, got a little joke. They just never do anything at all. Okay. And then you got your VDPs, your very draining people. These are the ones that write 1 app a quarter. It's fully underwritten. It's got 20 supplemental forms, and the carrier loses the app. Okay. Now look, this is the lesson, Linda. The bottom 2 categories want 90% of your time. The top 2 categories deserve 90% of your time. So I give 0 time to the bottom 2. Now look, I don't tell people you're a VDP. I just recognize that they are, and I don't give them any time at all. Because I'm not in the attitude adjusting business. Okay. You show up, you're sad, look, your dog got run over every day of your life. You're not going to make it here like that anyway. Okay. We're in the attraction business. Who in the world are you going to attract?
Yeah.
And so I spend 100% of my time with the top 2 categories. But we just try to treat our people right. Look, we're going to try to help everybody win, but they have to do their part.
Yeah.
So I don't have conversations about a lead with a bad phone number. I don't talk to people. Why is so-and-so doing this? I don't know. Unless I can put their brain in my head, I'll never know. So let's talk about you and tomorrow.
Yes.
And I just try to keep my people's focus on what they want down the road. It's down the road. The good stuff's down the road. As good as this is right now, for Scott and Kelly, as good as it is, this is as bad as it's ever going to be right now.
Mm.
See, we haven't even got to the good stuff yet. We have not gotten to the good stuff. It's coming. And
I'm excited.
the question is not whether or not the good stuff's coming. The question is whether or not you're here when it gets here.
Hmm. That's so good. Dropping the mic.
No, thank you so much. That's awesome.
Wow, this is so good. We could just keep going on and on, like we're sitting at the table at the restaurant. But the next people need to come in, so it can't be too hoggy.
We'll do it again sometime.
Oh, thank you so much.
Hey, my pleasure. I appreciate you asking. I've been having a complex ever since I saw Tracy on this thing.
I know. I was like, all right, when
I
is the
texted
good?
you afterwards, didn't I? I texted you.
You did.
What the heck?
You're
What
like,
the
what's
heck?
wrong with me? I'm like,
Ladies first.
exactly. Totally.
All right.
Well, thank you so much. I know everyone enjoyed it, loved it. If if you're not motivated after this call and you something's wrong. You just don't belong here, Danny said.
But
You're not-
it's out there for you, but it's not coming to you. It's going to be
Yeah.
placed within your reach, not within your hands. So we're looking for people that don't mind working for what they want. That's what we're looking for.
The
And it's
want.
and you can't listen to me. You cannot teach a pig how to sing. So go find people that know how to sing. What you do. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Awesome. All
Thank you,
right.
Kelly.
Thank you
I
guys.
appreciate it.
All
See
right.
you on
Have
the
a great
trip.
day. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Danny.